Peace, Patrick, ConservativeRap, and welcome back to the show where we cut through the noise and get to the heart of what's happening, both politically as well as socioeconomically. We're at the edge of a transformation. There's an old system that is built on fiat currency that loses its value. That's cracking apart. The founding fathers really warned us about this, right? They warned us about the unchecked creation of money, the detachment of it from real value, and how that would one day come back to haunt us. That day is now. But fortunately, due to Trump and the Patriots, there's a new system rising that's built on alternative currencies, tangible assets, and economic sovereignty. Watch closely, because as the dollar starts to weaken, gold will start to shine, and you'll hear more about that from Trump himself. Tariffs are continuing to come, not just as a policy, but to bring manufacturing jobs back home. At the same time, these jobs, they're multiplier jobs, right? So when you build a factory, you actually build a community. The furniture, the films, the textiles, these industries used to thrive back in the day when America was prosperous, and when people started to see those jobs return, they'll understand the power of the economic leverage we have as a country. It isn't just about money, it's about stability. It's about ensuring that as we move forward, we're not dragged down by the weight of a broken system. The other side, the Dems, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, they need an event. They need some type of crisis, something to push their agenda. But what's coming is not going to be chaos. It's going to be clarity. So buckle up. The shift is real. The stakes are high. And the future is being built as we know it. First, we'll head over to X. Thought this was some interesting posts. We have Joy Reid saying something interesting. She warns of the America's dangerous MAGA plans. They want to take us back to no income tax, no regulations, where you earn as much as you want and you leave it to your children with no taxes. Oh my God, how terrible.
Is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes. Right. That's the world they want back. And to get it back, they need society to change. They need people to be less modern. They need people to want fewer things. Is that if you go back before the...
Sounds like a wealth-oriented mindset to me. All right, and then Kobisi Letter, who I like to follow. Switzerland proposes investing in the U.S. gold refining industry to reach a trade deal with President Trump for lower tariffs. Switzerland is about to ask Trump to lower tariffs from 39% that's currently imposed. Switzerland offered, as the record run in gold increases, the U.S. reserves exceeded $1 trillion for the first time in history. U.S. now holds 2.4 times more gold than Germany, which is the second largest holder in the world. What is gold telling us? Let us explain. And he goes into further depth here. Moving on to Zero Hedge, share this tab instead. Fed's favorite inflation indicator shows no sign of runaway tariff costs as savings rate slides. After a modest increase 2 months ago, instead, a steady print in July, analysts expected headline PCE to steady at 2.6 year over year in August, and core PCE, the Fed's favorite indicator, to also be unchanged at 2.9% over year, and the numbers all came right in line with expectations. Indeed, as expected is the term of this morning's data, with headline and core PCE both matching expectations, staying in the same range they've been in for 2 years. Not exactly the Trump tariff terror future that every respected economist predicted. PCE 0.3% month over month, PCE 2.7 year over year, PCE 0. Core 2% month over month, PCE core 2.9% year over year. On an annual basis, headline PCE was flat 0.741%, while core PCE actually dipped modestly to 2.905 in August. All those expecting a bounce in durable goods inflation will have to wait another month. In August, it actually declined again, as did non-durable goods, while services costs increased the most. Sorry here, let's just escape. I, for some reason, can't figure out how to X out of this, but you get the general idea. Things are not going as the deep state planned. I also love this post, quickly from Truth. Trump telling Powell he's fired. His ass needs to go. I don't understand what value he's creating by holding up rates like this. Everyone knows this. And lastly, I won't belabor the point, but gold revaluation imminent. U.S. Treasury hoards top $1 trillion for the first time. On the back of a 45% surge in the price of gold this year, the U.S. Treasury hoards the barbarous relic that has surpassed $1 trillion in value for the first time in history. What is more, Oh, sorry. Share this tab instead. Here we go. What is more, that's more than 90 times what's stated on the government's balance sheet, and it's reigniting speculation that Treasury Secretary Bessent could revalue mark to market the massive pile of the precious metal. Just wait, the prices you're seeing now are going to be nothing for gold and silver compared to where it's going. Unlike most countries, the U.S. gold is held by the government directly rather than a central bank. The Fed instead holds gold certificates corresponding to the value of the Treasury's holdings and credits the government with dollars in return. This means, as we detailed previously, that an update to the reserve's value in line with today's prices would unleash roughly $990 billion into the Treasury's coffers, dramatically reducing the need to issue quite so many Treasury bonds this year. While the Treasury Secretary Bessent initially dismissed the suggestion, $1 trillion here and $1 trillion there adds up, and it would be by no means unprecedented. As Bloomberg reports, Germany, Italy, and South Africa have all taken the decision to revalue their reserves in the recent decades. An August note from an economist at the Federal Reserve discussed. U.S. gold remarking would have implications for both the Treasury and Fed balance sheets. The Treasury assets would rise by the value of the gold remarking, and liabilities would rise by the size of the gold certificates issued to the Fed. Federal Reserve assets would rise by value of gold certificates, and liabilities would rise by accrediting of cash in the Treasury cash balance. And here's the punchline. The Fed balance sheet impact would look like a QE, though with no market purchases would be required, and Fed liability growth would initially be in TGA. In other words, the best of both worlds. A QE, quantitative easing like operation, one which see the Fed quietly funnel almost $700 billion cash to the Treasury, but without actually doing a thing. And again, I won't belabor the point too much here, but you get the point. It's a new economic reality that we're heading into. Trump and the Patriots are using advanced macro and microeconomic tactics to ultimately, I perceive them dissolving the Fed entirely, just absorbing it into the Treasury to free up the value of the dollar and keep America on top. What do you think? Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share. I'm also going to be releasing a album shortly, Conservative Rap, The Calm Before the Storm, talking about more of this stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks for checking this out. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll be in touch. Thanks and take care.